Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of the Java strings lecture. So today we're going to focus on the various functions that we can use with Java strings. And the first function that we're going to start with is going to be the length function. Let's first declare a string variable. So we're going to call it st1 and we're going to make it equal to a value, for example, point at the value strawberry. And what we want to do here is to use the length function, which is used to return the number of characters in a certain string. So it's going to return the number of characters in a certain string. So system out print. Of course, you can use it in a print line statement, or you can simply use it by assigning its return value to another variable. So it returns an integer value, which is the length of the string. So we're going to say st1. So actually, let's type length. That is just to say this is okay, so st1, and then with the dot operator, we'll have access to all the different functions or methods that can be used with the strings. So this is the one that we want, its length, and that's, let's test its return value. So it gave us length 10. The return value of this function is 10 because it counted the number of characters in this string and returned it for us. So S is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are 10 characters. Of course, it's not going to include the quotation marks as part of the string. This is the return value, which is 10. The next function that we're going to work with is going to be the substring. Now, substring returns a substring. It returns a portion of a string, and let's see how we can use it. So say, for example, we want to print a substring from strawberry. So to use that, so first we want the string name, which is st1. Then with the dot operator, we'll have access to this function. So it is the substring. So we're going to use this one. Now the parameters or the values that it takes are basically the starting index from which is going to start extracting these characters. So if we want berry here, this is the portion that we want to extract. So we need to give the substring method the index of the first character here, which is b. Now, knowing that the index starts at 0, so this is located at index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, this is 3, this is 4. Therefore, b is at index 5. So if I place 5 here, it should print for me all the characters starting at the character located at index 5. So that's going to be starting at b and going all the way to the end of the string. So let's see. So this gave me berry, which is the result of this print statement. Now, if I want a specific portion of a string, say I want just a specific portion, that means it has a beginning and an ending index. That means I want the characters from this R to this R, right? So I want to define the beginning and the ending dimensions. So the bounds here, the first bound, the lower bound is going to be the index of the first character, which is R, and that is 2. So that's the index 2. And then comma, that's going to state the index of the last character plus 1. So make sure that you do that. So the substring method, you don't put the index of the last character, but actually you put the index of the last character plus 1. So R here is located at index, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So therefore here you should say up to index 8. That means start at index 2 and ending at index 8, give me all the characters, but of course not including the character at index 8. So it's a little bit tricky here. So let's run this and see. So see, we got all the characters, the portion or the substring from the index 2 to the index 8, but not including the character at index 8. The next function that we're going to take a look at is the indexOf. And what this function does is that it returns the index of a character in that string. So for example, if we want to do get the index of the character B in this string, we simply say, give me str1 dot index of B. So give me the index of B in the string str1. So if I run this, it should give me the index of the character B. So if I run it, it give me 5, and that gave me an integer value, which is the index of this character B. Now, knowing that you can use this function to get an index of a specific character, you can actually use that inside or within the substring method. So suppose that we want all the characters starting at the character B. So I could basically use the substring method. So it's the same string, except that my starting index is going to be str1.index of B, right? So I'm basically saying, give me all the characters give me a substring from str1 that starts at this index. Okay, so this is going to give me Barry. Right, so now that you know what each one of these functions is capable of, you can actually make a combination of all of them like we did here, and to make sense out of things and to simplify your work. Another function that is useful is called the charAt. It is a function that returns a character at a specific index. So given a specific index, it will return a specific character. Suppose that we want to print the character at, let's say, I don't know, whatever index that you have in mind, say, for example, 4, right? So we're going to say sc1 dot charAt index 4. So let's find out what character is that. So when we run this, it tells us it's a W. So it's given me the character at index 4 in this string st1. So that gave me W. Okay, so now just to recap, of course there is plenty of functions out there, and you guys can explore on that on them, but these are some of the most useful functions or methods with strings. So the length gives you the number of characters in a specific string. The substring gives you a portion of a string, whether you give it the lower bound and the upper bound, or you just give it the lower bound. So if you give it the 2, the lower bound and upper bound is going to give you a portion starting at the lower bound and ending at the upper bound index, but not including the character at the upper bound index. If you give it just one value, it's just going to give you a portion of string starting at that index and going all the way to the end of the string. The indexOf function gives you the index of a specific character. So given a specific character, it will return an integer value, which is the index that is for that character. Also, the charAt function, it gives you a character, given a specific index, it will give you the character located or pointing at that index. Okay, so all right, so this is part 2 of this strings lecture, and I'll see you in part 3 where we explore on more functions with strings. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.